that I'm very sorry and I apologize for the inconvenience of me not giving up.
Bonjour everyone, Pantoufleee here today for a new video in which we have the pleasure of talking about some leaks that are coming directly from Wargaming themselves because they posted it on their World of Tanks Blitz official Discord server. Beside, as you all know, the M6EO that we talked about previously in a stream and a video, they also announced a second tank that is being tested, aka the Kunze Panzer. And if you follow the description of the tank, they are telling you that one more brand new tank is coming. You will also see in battle the Kunze Panzer, which is a German tank. It's a compact and dynamic tier 7 light tank featuring powerful, fast aiming gun and excellent mobility. Just like its counterparts, this tank demands skillful use of it because of weak armor and low HP storage. The Kunze Panzer won't be added to tech tree. We will share more details about how obtaining it later. Even before talking about the tank, I want to insist on that sentence. We will share more details about how to obtain it later. What does it mean? Usually, if you take a look at the Coming Soon series, they tell you straight if the tank is going to be a premium, a collectible, and how you're going to be able to get it. When they don't say anything about the tank, and most of the time they do, that's when they probably think about adding that tank in an event. So maybe we will be able to see that tank coming in an event, like the good old events Wargaming was doing, where you had, you know, a pop-up straight near your mission into the HUD of the game. You just have to collect, grinding some, maybe using some gold to be able to unlock the mighty reward, which back in the days was always a new premium tank. So there it is for the tank, but let's see what it could look like in the game, trying to be more specific about the specs of the tank. Before going further, guys, there is another sneak peek of the Kunze Panzer, and judging by the look and how low profile that tank is, I'm expecting it to have one of the greatest camo, possibly at tier 7. You combine the low profile armor or aesthetic of the tank with the fact that, as it's a light tank, they have the best camo rating in the game, and you have for yourself literally a ninja of World of Tanks Blitz. But don't worry, I have more things for you, because the Kunze Panzer is actually in super test in World of Tanks PC. Obviously, as it's a tier 9 here, it's going to be totally different from the Kunze Panzer we are going to get into World of Tanks Blitz, but it's interesting to compare both tanks to learn the differences there are going to be between World of Tanks PC and World of Tanks Blitz. Because in World of Tanks PC, the Kunze Panzer is basically a premium that is based on the Leo one, and not the RU-251 like the one we have. I don't know why Wargaming decided to do that on the Kunze Panzer of Blitz, and I think it's a good choice, because I would rather have a light tank at tier 7 than some kind of a Leo PTA, a premium version and a better version of the PTA at tier 9. But there are some similarities between both tanks that we can find and that we're going to analyze right now. First thing first, I want to talk about the gun elevation, which is going to be the exact same because the aesthetic of both tanks are quite similar. Yes, it changes a little bit on the Kunze Panzer because of how the gun looks like and how the turret is close to the hull armor, but we could expect some good stats as well. Here, it seems like the gun and the hull armor are quite similar concerning the aesthetic of the tank, which means that you're probably going to have 10 degrees of gun depression as well on the Kunze Panzer that is going to be available in our game. For the armor profile, we're not even going to bother. It's going to be easy to penetrate it with HE pretty much by everything, because that's what Wargaming intends to do. And finally, for the mobility, you're going to have a way better mobility than the one that is presented to you right now. Why? Because it's a light tank and not a medium, and Wargaming themselves told us that the mobility is going to be extreme on that tank. So I don't know why and what they're planning to do with this tank. All I can tell you for the moment is that if it's a light tank, obviously it's going to have a great top speed, but we don't know yet what that top speed is going to be. Probably around 65-70 kilometers per hour, which is enough for you to take advanced and aggressive positions, while all of that combined being on a hilly terrain to use your 10 degrees of gun depression. Now we're going to talk a little bit about the gun. For the OGs out there, you already saw what is the common thing between the RU-251 and the Kunze Panzer. They are sharing the exact same gun. Obviously, as the Kunze Panzer is one tier below, it's not going to have the same specs as the one you have on the RU-251, because if that's the case, it's going to be broken. But we could expect the alpha damage to be the exact same on both tanks, so 225. Here, obviously, you have a 5-second reload with your RU RU, it's not going to be the case on the Kunze Panzer. You can expect something like maybe 7.5, even 8 seconds of reload, which would make its DPM lower down a little bit. Can expect like maybe maximum 2k DPM, but not that much, because just imagine if this new and upcoming tier 7 had a 3k DPM like the RU. I don't feel like it's a good idea, and I know Wargaming is not crazy enough to do that. So yeah, what we can be sure about is possibly the average damage, which should be something like that. For the average penetration, maybe Wargaming is going to lower down the values a bit. Maybe not necessarily for the gold shell though. You could actually expect to get 250 millimeters of raw penetration using heat shells, because that tank is definitely going to carry heat shells. And finally, armor piercing, maybe lower it down to 170, maybe even 160 millimeters of penetration. We don't know yet what they intend to do. But the most important part of the Kunze Panzer is the HE. Are they going to stick to the HE, the same HE the RU has? Not necessarily with 100 millimeters of raw penetration, but something like 70, 80 millimeters, which would be enough for you to go through most targets on the sides and on the back, which would make that tank the really good predecessor of the RU at tier 7. We don't know yet. I don't have access to the statistics, so all I talk about right now is only assumptions. As I don't have anything else to say, guys, I'm gonna wish you all a good day, and hopefully you enjoy. If that's the case, feel free to subscribe, like and share. Au revoir.